Let's see, it is 1:04. So I really like to start on time because I want to be respectful of everybody's schedules. So let's get this started. Thanks for everybody for joining me. I really appreciate it. I'm Donna Castillo. I'm here in the Santa Clara office. I've been in real estate about 5 years. I was in corporate marketing prior to that for about, I don't want to age myself, but I will now, about 25 years for companies like Adobe and Cisco and things like that. So when I became a realtor, I thought it was a really good marriage of those two skill sets, right? I have a lot of marketing background. And then with the help of KW and all the training and coaching that I receive, I think putting those two things together has been the reason that I've been able to do well in my real estate career. And so feel free to ask questions, just unmute yourself. Let's talk. I changed it a little bit. I changed a couple slides because I wanted it to be a little interactive with everyone, especially you hear this in the front. So feel free to ask questions, okay? So one of the things that I kind of added is, we're going to be talking about servicing our clients for our listings and then marketing our listings. And so I just really wanted to get people thinking. There we go. So these are, I was just going through and I was thinking, so what are some good brands? What are some good logos that I can share with you that are really good at servicing? And then when you look at the logo, you know who they are immediately. And that should be everybody's goal, right? Is to be the recognized real estate person, realtor in their area, in their farm, in their neighborhood, in the state of California, worldwide, whatever it is, you want to be known. And so, Nordstrom's, you walk into Nordstrom's and the minute you walk in, people are already asking you, how can I help you, right? Great brand, you just see that and you know you're at Nordstrom's. Trader Joe's is also a really good example of great customer service, and everybody knows that logo. Everybody knows Trader Joe's. IKEA is great. I mean, Chick-fil-A, I put that on there. My daughter eats there all the time. And if something's cold or if something's not prepared correctly, they just go back in, it's replaced, no questions asked. Starbucks. I've had times when my double tall latte with 2 raw sugars just doesn't taste right. They don't ask me why, who, they just exchange it. And Amazon does a lot of that as well. So I just wanted to put that in front of you first because you really want to be that kind of realtor, right? In your farm, in your area, in your sphere. You want to be top of mind at all times. And so with the brand comes servicing your clients, right? It's totally important because when you're servicing and marketing is really important. If you're not servicing well, it's going to hurt your brand. And if you're not marketing well, it's going to hurt your servicing and your brand as well. Hey, Alan, right? So when you're thinking about how you got a new listing, and you're thinking, how am I going to service this client? How am I going to market this, right? What are your goals every time you get a new listing? Anybody want to talk about that? Anybody have any ideas?
So the top dollar.
You want to get them top dollar. Exactly, right? That's your goal, is you want to get them top dollar. What's another one?
You want them to refer you.
Quick closing.
You want to get referrals at the end, right? And you're going to get referrals if you're servicing them well and you're marketing well, you get them top dollar. Any ideas online? Feel free to unmute yourself and speak up.
Quick closing, hassle-free transaction.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Quick closing. And hassle-free.
Quick closing, right? You want to close that, you want to sell it and close that transaction in a timely manner. Great. Anybody else want to talk? That's right. You want them to come back. You want them to give referrals. You want them to promote your brand and you, right? So, what are your goals? So you got to make sure, write them out. I added this. Your goals could be, should be, market that home to all potential buyers. And I always find that everyone always says that, but I feel that you have to sell your listing twice, right? You have to sell it to the agent, then you have to sell it to the agent's client, right? I mean, it's great when you have a buyer walk into your open house and they don't have an agent representing them, right? Yay. But that's not always the case. So that's why you see those property blasts going out every week, because realtors have really short attention span. I know I do. Take meds for it. So it's really marketing that home to potential buyers, potential agents, consistently until it closes escrow. You also want to sell within a specific time frame in today's market, right? So we're seeing the market shift a little bit. We would see listings that would go on the MLS and they sold in 0 days, 1 day, that was already sold before they even put it on the MLS, right? Basically. People panic when it starts hitting 20 days. And I think Myrna, who's here in the office with us, had a really good post on her Facebook where she said, the market isn't crashing, it's normalizing, right? 30 days and 45 days was not unheard of not that long ago, but everyone's used to seeing that 7 to 10 day pending. So selling within a specific time frame is going to help your brand, and communicating it to your client helps your servicing. And then you got to price home competitively in today's market, which is consistently and constantly changing, especially today. So 10 days ago, it was a different market. Can everybody agree with that? And so we can't, when you're doing a CMA and making recommendations on how to price it, your new listing, everything that's sold is 30 days old. That was a completely different market. And don't go 60 days. That's not even in the realm of reality now. So what are we doing? We're trying to connect with agents, right? Calling them, seeing what they're pending, how many offers, do they have any leftover buyers, right? And doing it that way. So we really have to do the work. So, these are 3 goals. I'm sure everyone will have, more goals, but I just wanted to kind of get everybody thinking about what it takes to really market your listing and service it as well.
Hey, Donna, as,
Talk about, I'm sorry?
market 2 months, you have to call the listing agent about the yesterday pending, right? In order to make a reasonable offer, right?
Right.
Same thing.
Yeah, and thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, so when it was hot, we were still calling, right? But that's why it's really important to develop relationships with other agents, because a lot of agents don't want to tell you. They don't want to tell you. Why do you think they don't want to tell you?
Yeah, there's no relationship. They don't know trust. And why should they?
Why make your life easy? That's a good point. Sometimes, they might be worried that what if it falls out of contract? Now you know what it's sold for, and oh my God, you might go under, they could have gotten more out of you. Whatever the reason, develop some really good relationships with other agents, and that's going to help you do a better job for your clients. So it's really important to go to broker tours, right? Or score events, the golf tournaments coming up, great place to know all the agents in the area, top producers go. So network and get to know other agents. So, some goals. So 3 levels of service that define the customer experience is the purpose, your value prop, and fiduciary. Thank you. Tongue-tied. And so, those 3 levels of service is not uncommon in corporate America. So if I go, some of them call them mission, vision, and values, purpose, value prop, and that other word. It's really, I would work with Adobe. They're very clear on what our purpose is, right? They, when they went from shipping you a box of Illustrator to delivering the product from the cloud, that was a clear purpose. That was a clear purpose to make it easier for their clients. They could track who has it, and they made more money, and they don't have to pay sales tax, right? So they were really clear on those purposes. The value prop is that they can download that software immediately. You place your order, you put in your credit card, you get a key code, and you download Photoshop, right? So what we're doing in real estate is really not that different from what you see in all the companies that we drive by every day. So pay attention, see how they're marketing, see what they're doing from a service perspective, and see if it can help you in your business. So a purpose, have a clear understanding of why that client should hire you. You should understand that. You should be able to articulate it. You should be able to talk about it. You should be talking about it consistently too. That's important. Be consistent with your purpose, right? And if you step back from purpose too, it's really understanding who you're marketing to, so that purpose makes sense. I like marketing to seniors. So I can help them with trust, wills, health directives. I can help them get information on Capital gain is I can help them find a 55 plus community they might want to live in, depending on where they are in their care. I can find them a place where they can age in place. That's my purpose, right? I'm also a commissioner for the City of San Jose Seniors Commission. That helps me. That's my value prop, right? Because now you translate that purpose. I like working with seniors. What can I do? I can give them somewhere to live. I help them sell their home. I help them with estate sales, anything they need to get the house done and put it on the market. And I'm also a senior. So that's my value prop, right? That I have all these resources centralized in one person. So what's your purpose? Excuse me, you translate that into your value prop. And then for people that are performing at a high level, the level of service goes beyond purpose and value prop. It really means that you're going to do whatever it takes to get it done for your client, regardless if it affects you, right? It's what's in their best interest, not what's in your best interest. Really important. I had a client. She's calling me. She's getting a divorce. I need to sell my house. I need to buy them out. I go, well, wait a minute, slow down. How much equity do you have? How much money do you make? Do you have to sell the house to buy them out? Do you have enough equity to buy them out? Can you qualify for a loan? What's your income? Got her in contact with a lender. She still has that house today. Because guess what? That was the best thing for her. It wasn't the best thing for me. Missed out on that commission. But I do have somebody who gives me referrals. And I have a new friend, right? And that was just a phone call. Never knew her before that call. So that's really important. Is doing what's best, even when nobody's watching.
In that case, what happens?
In that case,
Yeah.
she met with one of my lenders. She qualified for the loan. Her and her husband made an agreement, buy me out for X amount of dollars. She got that loan, bought him out, used the HELOC loan, used the equity in her home, bought him out. You know, and so she was able to keep her home, which was super important to her. Yeah. So any questions about this? Feel free to talk up online. Adele, can you give me my water? I'm not sick. I'm just coughing because of a dry throat. Okay, so what do sellers want most? It's kind of what we want most too. We talked about it on purpose. We talk about this in your value prop, right? So it should kind of balance. So once again, like I know I like seniors, making sure I mirror their needs in my branding and my marketing and in the processes I use. So you want to market the home to potential buyers and buyers agents, right? Thank you so much. They want to sell their home within a specific timeline. You know, I have a listing in Vista Park. They moved out. They want to sell as quickly as possible. What's your timeline? We agreed on a timeline based on today's market. We're getting the house prepped for the market. Then we're going to revisit that timeline again and make sure they're all in agreement. Pricing the home competitively in today's market. How hard is that? Have you priced? Who's been priced? Where's Myrna? Oh, she left. You've got a new listing. How hard was it to price it?
It was hard.
Was it hard? Because the market is shifting, right? So how did you come up with your price?
So right now we have it at
Let them see you.
now we have it at 1,199,000,
Mhm.
but we're still looking at the market and they're still working on the property. So hopefully they'll be done this week. But it's just really hard. I've never been in this market.
Mhm.
And thank God I'm co-listing with an agent that has been in the industry for 10 years. And I'm learning a lot, but I think it's just really hard to price it because you're looking at comps and they're just changing.
Comps, so are they 30 days old or are they pending? Remember the 30 days, they don't even count anymore.
They don't.
They don't count anymore.
We're also call a couple of agents that have listings in the area and kind of talk to them like how they came up with the price, just to get more knowledgeable on how to price it correctly, because you don't want to price it and then sit on the market for
Absolutely not.
8 or 10 years.
Because I don't want to sit 30 days. 30 days is, you're dead. And, you failed for some reason.
sure that we keep talking to the agents that have listings and how they're doing it
Mhm.
and the response you're getting on the price, but so far we have this price that, and it's not on the market yet, so.
Which is
But-
nice, because you could change the price. You don't get hit with days on the market. They don't see the change in MLS.
So actually, everything's done, disclosures are done, and everything's ready to go and price it at the range.
Yeah, so everybody's having difficulty with that. I'm having difficulty with that. It's a tough one because if you price too high, the offers won't come in, right? So you really got to talk to your client and try to get them to be a little courageous, because they get scared, right? They have to understand what's the difference between a marketing price, which is what we want, and the end sale price. And so you've got to, I always talk to them, you've got to be courageous. Let's price low. Let's bring the offers in. We still want to get in a multiple offer situation. I'm still getting multiple offers, not 20 and 30 like we were not that long ago, but we're still getting multiple offers on properties. I'm still getting calls if I would accept a preemptive offer. So that's still happening, but I definitely feel that shift. So it's really important to price the home competitively in today's market today. 10 days from now, price it for 10 days from now. It's not going to be the same as today. And then find a buyer for the home. And that goes back to what we said earlier is, you got to market your home to the agents and the agents' clients, right? So you're going to be finding, and so that's what the sellers are looking for. And go ahead.
So the price the home competitively, right? So one thing is looking at the call up other listing agent for recent pending, right? That's one important thing homework you need to do, right? What else you consider to price competitive?
That would be number one,
Yes.
right? It has to be that. It's depending. We can't even, so, we can look at what the appreciation has been over the last 10 years. All those numbers, I mean, you could play with it, but it really goes to what's happened in the last 10 days. And I give you a little secret. And I think Alan talked about it too, is, I mean, it's not your first thing to do, but you can say that we're going to give the buyer a point, right? And lower the interest rate, because interest rates are a huge concern. My first house was 7%. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, their first home was at 18%. So they're going, oh my God, people are freaking out over 5-6%, but they are. So, find a solution, right? Because it is a scary time to price it. So find solutions. If it starts sitting there, you can consider it. I wouldn't say that's your go-to plan immediately, right? But that's, like I worked with a lender, I don't know, right after Alan said that in our team meeting. If the house price at 1.25, if the client's putting 20% down to buy down a point, it's about $33,000, $34,000. That's better than lowering the price $100,000, right? And that could work for a buyer or seller, right? You could ask for a point when you submit a purchase agreement. Anyways, but what the sellers want most, right? So it's being strategic and really paying attention to what's happening on the market. What's everybody doing to pay attention to what's happening in the market besides calling pending? Anybody online? What are you guys doing to track the market?
I attend the market updates.
Market updates, go on the MLS, right? See how many are selling, see how many are pending, how many new active. We're still in a strong seller's market. And to communicate that a lot. And that's part of servicing. So that's part of branding yourself and marketing yourself as a leader in real estate, in your farm, your sphere. But it's also help marketing your listings. Sorry. So let's go back to service standards, right? We talked about, I'm going a little fast. I'm sorry. Feel free to ask questions. I can't see questions in the chat. So just undo yourself and ask the question, please. Go ahead. And if you can't hear her, let me know online. So what? Broker tours? Mm-hmm.
So sometimes the deal is, if you go with the other agent without even go on the market. Right. Even at this moment.
Absolutely.
So
So, you know, when you go to brokerage, they talk about coming soons, right? They're not on the MLS. Great way if you have a buyer that's having a hard time getting their offers accepted or finding a property that fits their need. Great opportunity to not only get to know agents, but to see what's coming soon too, and potentially get into contract just from one meeting. That happens a lot. So service standards. That's the yardstick of performance. Measure how well you're performing. So anybody want to talk about what their service standards are and how do you track them? Anybody? Anybody? Come on online. Somebody talk to me. Okay, so I try to do. Sometimes I'm not successful, I'm not perfect, but I try to do a communication every Monday to every single client, whether they're a buyer or a seller. I told them what happened last week, what's going to happen this week, what do we expect to happen next week, what I've done as far as marketing. And then I add a section that says things that need to be approved. So that my clients can expect an email from me every Monday. So that's part of my over communicating to my clients, right? And then I get questions back on that, and it becomes a point of conversation. So that's part of my service. Anybody else have any other activities they want to talk about, share? Any great ideas out there of what you're doing to service your accounts, your clients? Another thing is you know, something simple as just being the one that answers your phone all the time. If it's always going to voicemail and you don't call back, not a good service standard. You're probably not going to get the referrals that you want afterwards. You're going to get a client that's super frustrated, right? So if you're not, I'm in my meeting today, I got Adele in the back, she's going to cover my phone. If anybody calls while I'm in this meeting, Adele's picking it up and she'll either take a message or answer the question on my behalf. Things like that are important and it really sets you apart. Think about, remember we did the Nordstrom's logo? How frustrated are you? I love going to Nordstrom's to get shoes because I know when I walk in, I immediately go, what shoe do you like? What size are you? And they bring them out to me right away. How many times do I go to the Macy's at Oak Ridge and I find a pair of shoes that I like? And I am just searching everywhere for somebody to help me. And then, you know, oh, sorry, we only have a size 6. Oh, you know, and then they don't offer to call another Macy's, you know, unless I ask them first. So it's frustrating, right? The entire process is frustrating. So guess what? I'd rather pay a little bit extra, go to Nordstrom's when they have a sale and buy my shoes there because they're going to help me. And if they don't have the shoes, they'll call all the Nordstrom's and then they'll even offer to ship it to me because it might be in Livermore. So we'll ship it to you for free, right? What a great service standard. And so I want to be that when it comes to when my clients, before my clients' needs and wants. Anybody have any ideas on what would be great for clients? You guys are easy. What do you do? Responsive. Yeah.
Like all the time, my response to their question are spontaneous. So that's my standard.
When you're having those initial meetings too with your new client or past client, your client. How do you like to communicate? Do you want to text? Do you want a phone call? Depends on their age. I like seniors. They want to see me. They want me to call them. They want things in writing. They want, market update on a flyer on their table so they can read it and have it and touch it. So remember that's part of your audience, right? So I always ask. I mean, I do have seniors that love their phone too, and they love to text. So, but always ask.
Yeah.
And then that's how you communicate. And then if they don't respond, I have one client, text, she doesn't respond, follow up with phone call. So now I think I'm a stalker with her, but that's okay. Sometimes you got to do that, right? To get the response.
We're working, right? Let's communicate at 9 p.m.
That's okay. Whatever.
Yeah.
That's right. Mhm. What's other, So we're talking about the service standards when you actually have a client and a listing, but there's also that marketing and branding yourself, right? So how many of you sent out, let's say, Father's Day cards, or you did a Father's Day smart plan? Anybody here? No? Okay. I love smart plans because you do it one and done. I sent out the Father's Day smart plan it was a text and an email, went out to my entire database. And a woman called me back. She has 1.5 cash for a house in Los Gatos. You know, I'm just getting that phone call was beyond worth it, right? I was like doing the happy dance when I got that, right? So service standards, that's part of it. So now I immediately, you know, confirmed that I received that text message from her, and I reached out again on properties that she's looking for and setting up a meeting, right? So when you're doing this, think about, in this class, we're talking about servicing and marketing when you have a listing, right? But it goes beyond that as well, because you want to get those listings, and that helps you get the listings as well. So if you're communicating in advance, once they feel comfortable with you because they see that you're social, you're out there, you're a top performer, other people are referring you, other people are saying great things about you, it just makes life easier for you when you get those listings. Anything else, you guys? So easy.
Long time. The client,
Pretty interesting story. I met her at #1 Broadway in Los Gatos years ago. She works at Apple. She's a top engineer at Apple. She knew that I worked at a semiconductor company, and out of the blue, I connected her with somebody because she was having an issue, and we just kind of casually. It's not somebody that I talk to all the time. It's not someone that I'm bumping into all the time, but she knows I'm there. And it worked, right? I don't know if it worked. I'm not in contract yet and closed the transaction, but at least I got a phone call from and it was a woman. She's not even a dad. So, and I still got the call. So stick to your smart plans. And so when you have those service standards, if you have a team, it's the same thing. So I want to start having a team. So it's really developing those processes and procedures and documenting them. Totally important. And then as new team members come in, make sure they're aware of the processes and procedures and what's expected from a team as well. So we want, you know, it's kind of like when you walk into Nordstrom's, everybody says, hey, welcome to Nordstrom's. Can I help you? Absolutely. Everybody that from Nordstrom's says the same script. I don't know, can we call it a script? So everybody on your team should be saying the same thing that you're saying it with the same kind of energy, the same kind of words as you are. So whether you're a solo agent or you're an agent on the team or you're the rainmaker, it's that consistency when you're servicing your clients. So I might get a listing. If I hand it over to Teresa, Teresa's doing the same thing. They get the Monday email. She's answering her phone calls. We're being proactive and reaching out to them consistently. Any questions about this one? I put my processes in Asana, and I'm getting better at that. And so if it's a new client, you have the template in Asana. And if you don't know what Asana is, like a project management tool. And so it's basically a list of to-dos electronically. And so if I get a new, let's say I went out and got a new listing and I'm having somebody else work on that listing for me, everything's already standard. What do you do to prepare for the pre-listing appointment? What do you do at the listing appointment? You got a contract. This is what you do next, all the way to close, right? And it's always evolving, always changing. We're always adding and deleting things, but at least that template is strong. So you just duplicate it and I put a new address on it and everybody knows what's expected. And even if you're a solo agent, it's a great way to remind yourself of what needs to get done and in what kind of timeline. I just went on a listing appointment. I did get the listing, but I didn't look at my to-do list. And I usually have a smoke alarm. Smoke alarms in my trunk. It's gone, and the carbon monoxide in my trunk with the lock box, and I didn't take it. And shame on me because I could have had all that done while I was there as part of my listing appointment. And I was, I felt like I could have done a better job, right? So those are the things just to be consistent. Anybody have anything to say? So like I said, communicate, and then communicate some more. So, I do that Monday email. It could be an email, it could be a phone call, to the clients that I have right now in active and pending and so on. I called Happy Father's Day. I sent my top 250 Father's Day cards, actual Father's Day cards, signed, mailed. But you can never, you should never under communicate, right? If they ever have a question, you got to be able to answer it and answer it quickly. And it doesn't always have to be a problem. It's Father's Day, send them a card. They got texts, they got emails, they got phone calls, and the top 250 got an actual card for me that we signed. I forgot that today was the first day of summer. Would have been another time to send out something else. I didn't do it, but my next one is, what's the next card, Adele? 4th of July. Sure.
For lots of marketing budgets.
Like what?
So many, like, I know like each one that's used not cheap. Like, do you have like interval, like to still doing this one? Or to design very major holidays?
I picked holidays because I am aware, and I do Vista Print. We're always looking for coupons and things like that, and it's to 250. And I print the envelopes here with the picture on the cover, and it's, that's probably a little bit more that I want to spend. It's more like, what is it? Not even $1 card though. What is it, Adele? What's the budget on those?
They're about maybe 60 cents per card.
Per card, and then the stamp, and then my time, right? If I'm doing let's say I do a golden letter in a farm, right? Are you willing to sell your house to one of my clients? I print, I mail. I mean, I print them here, envelopes are here, put a stamp and I mail them out and follow up with phone calls, right? So I try to be as not cheap, but I really try to control the marketing budget as much as possible. Probably the cards are the most expensive thing that I do, except for I have some high ticket clients. So I want to stay top of mind with them. And so I do Client Giant. So they get a quarterly thing from me, which is for about $100 a year. But these are like, I know they're like $2 million people. I just need one and I'll pay for everything for about 10 years. And if you go to Client Giant, if you ever check it out, that's the URL. You can sign up and you enter and it could be one person. It doesn't have to, they have no number on the number of people, and they get a quarterly gift from you. So they're going to get a summer gift from me. And they're cute gifts. They're not cheap in any way, shape, or form. And also Client Giant is great. I've used it. I had a friend that her father passed away. So they had a nice little candle and a nice little packet. And I immediately just went in there, mailed it, put what I wanted on the card on it. And I got a phone call because they just loved it. And they used to always, it just happened that they always used to light, when my hair's a standing up, white candles, right? And so that works well. So that's good for those one-offs, but it's good for that quarterly. Some people like to do pop-ups, right? Those get expensive too. So I just try to limit to and it's really understanding your database and who's probably going to be selling within the next 12 months, right?
Do you send out something every month, or how do you pick, like you said,
Quarterly. Client Giants is quarterly.
But for 4th of July, when sending out something or doing something, so how do you pick?
My top 250. It's my clients, my orphan clients, and people that I see that I do HomeBot too. That's free. HomeBot is at homebotapp.com. You can enter, and they love this. This is about servicing your client too. So the minute I close escrow, I put them on HomeBot and they can track the value of their home. They get an email once a month that says your home is increased in value by X amount of dollars. And if you look at it, it will even say, if like mine, I get one for myself just to see. If I paid $400 more, I forgot if it was a month, you would save $100-something thousand in the life of this loan, things like that. It gives the current rates on different loans, 30-year conventional, 7-year jumbo, 15-year, what the current rates are. It's a great tool for your clients. We know what orphan clients are too, right? So when, let's say I have the listing, the buyer of that house, that's my orphan. So unless it's a KW agent, you close escrow and you reach out, hey, I hope you love the house. Need anything? Have any question about the home? Can I get something from the sellers? Are you good? And they just get in your database. They start getting the bi-monthly, put them in command. They start getting your emails. And now they're considered somebody who could, they're going to sell or they're going to refer you out, right? Because usually usually realtors is one and done and they don't talk to them again, right?
Mm.
I learned that lesson. Pay attention to the orphan clients, everybody out there. When I first started my career, I quit a corporate job that I absolutely hated. I'm driving home crying. Oh my God, I quit this job and I haven't done anything in real estate. Haven't been promoting myself. What am I going to do? Single mom. My daughter's going to St. Francis. That's $25,000 a year. I'm scared. I got a phone call from somebody I went to high school with 35 years ago. Hadn't seen her. Donna, are you still doing real estate? Absolutely. She goes, I'm flipping houses now. There's a house in Willow Glen on Lavoie. If you buy it, you can sell it. It's like, so got it, bought it, sold it. But guess what? I never paid attention to that client. That client had to move because their job moved to Texas. They sold in less than a year. They didn't use me, right? Sold for over $2 million. That was like, and that would have just taken, because I got along with them during the whole process, gave them the keys, we had fun, I got them a gift, everything was great, but then I never reached out again. So when it was time to buy, they used Valerie Mine. It's very vivid in my mind. Let me tell you, that one hurt because I knew the house very well. So pay attention to your orphan clients. Once again, service them and market to them. Great source. So going back to HomeBot also, you get it like for $12 a month. You have to partner with a lender. And so you could also, if you have buyer clients, you could put them in as a buyer and what areas they're looking for, and they get information on average prices in those zip codes. What's the average price? What does it cost to purchase home in that area? So it's HomeBot, HOMEBOT app.com. That's a great tool. You get an email every week, Monday morning. It tells you who's going around clicking on things. So on mine, I know that I have to call Bob because Bob set up his buyer profile. He owns a house in Abingdon Valley. He set up a buyer profile, so that shows that he's hot. So I'll be knocking on his door soon. This week, actually. Once again, marketing, right? And servicing. But he owns a house in Abingdon Valley too. So if he has a buyer profile, that means he's thinking of selling his house in Abingdon Valley and buying. And he's a senior. I know he's older. So I'm on Bob.
So basically, tells you who's checking it or who's being.
How many times if they even they tell you open the email, they'll tell you if they unsubscribed, marked you as spam, if they clicked, how many times they clicked, how long did they stay on the website, what they clicked on. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So they need to be on that app.
I'm sorry.
So the clients, they need to use HomeBot too, right? So
You get an email with a link. That's all it is. You can do, you could do some social media around it too. If want to know the value of your home in today's market, and if they click and it's not somebody not in your database, you'll get alerted that you have a new lead. So that's a great tool too for you to help you market and service your account. But it's great for the minute you close escrow, so they can track the value of their home. My son, I bought, here's an example. I bought my son, I helped him buy a house in Madera. He's a fireman out in Madera. He wanted a new build. He bought it for $245,000. That same house has gone up $100,000 in 1 year. So yeah, he's my son. I get it, but I'm already telling him you have equity. We need to start thinking about rental properties, right? And start doing the next step with them, which is another conversation you can have with your clients, right? Once you know they have enough equity. Are you interested in investing and creating some passive income? But I know we're supposed to be focusing on sellers, so we'll just stick to sellers right now. But the HomeBot's great for sellers. Client Giant is great for sellers. You want to stay top of mind. And I'm telling you that our smart plan through Command is amazing. Make sure that you set them up on the 36 touch. It's so easy. You just know they're getting the information and you know that they're looking at it. And so when I say communicate, I really do, just like nurses, right? Welcome to nurses. How can I help you? That's who we need to be as realtors. Yeah. And so marketing plan. You guys have a marketing plan? We say that if you don't have if you don't plan, what is it? How does the saying go? If you don't have a marketing plan, then you're planning to fail in your marketing, right? So by Monday, you should know what your marketing is for the week. I'm guilty. I don't know every week, but by Sunday night, you should be reviewing what your marketing plan is the week, who you're going to target. Is it FSBOs? Is it your sphere? Are you following? Does everybody know DTD2? Yes. DTD2 is a method that Keller Williams, Steve Schulzer came up with. I think it was Steve. And it gives you, every week you have 2 letters that you should be calling from your database and a letter to text. And the way it's set up is that you talk to everybody. Oh, give her a copy. That you talk to everybody live 4 times a year. Yeah, give her a copy 4 times a year. And he's really good about the method that works really well. You got your list, you call them on Monday, leave a message if they don't answer. Wednesday, call again. If they don't answer, just hang up. On Friday, you call if they don't answer. Oh my God, I'm sorry, I missed you this week. I hope to talk to you soon. And they got 3 calls from you. They know you're there. They see you calling. They know your number, right? So that's a great way. So the marketing plan should include what's your prospecting, how you're going to market yourself, and how you're going to market your listings. And your marketing message, right? For me, it's about seniors. If my mailing is going to be out to seniors and I'm talking about seniors, so understand who your audience is when you're talking to them. If it's millennials, I'm not going to talk to them about 55 plus communities, right? So be smart about it so you're not wasting your marketing dollars. They're not going to care. And the methods. So understanding your audience, right? Millennials, they don't want a piece of paper. They want a text message, But if you're talking about an older person, older than me, I don't like paper, older than me, even though I could be considered a senior, just understand your audience and how they want to receive information. And then making sure that you're managing, great question, managing and your marketing budget, right? MREA book has all kinds of information on how you should be managing your marketing budget, how much you should be spending on it. When you close a transaction, you should be really clear on what it costs you to close that transaction so you understand what you're making. And then we talk about staging. Let's talk about staging a little bit. I think we could all agree that a staged home will always sell quicker and for more money. Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes?
Just a very
Good for it.
Can you call all these people?
Am I what? Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for confirming that. I know all that is just not picking up the phone call.
It's okay. Don't leave a message. It's all right.
People ignore you after you did it 3 times. If I can share something, so
Please.
whenever they don't answer, I have like hello cards. So I send them a handwritten card saying, hi, I called you just to check in, just wanted to say hello, hope all is well. When you get a chance, give me a call. And I always get a call back. They get a handwritten card in the mail and they call me back.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So that's a stamp. Where do you get the cards at?
It's like 99-cent store.
I know. I love the 99-cent store.
I feel like people appreciate they don't get anything in the mail. But if you take the time.
I love that.
How are you? Whatever it is. And sometimes I go with social media too and just say, by the way, whatever it is, congratulations on something. And I just write handwritten cards. And the book that actually, I follow the Ninja of Selling. I don't know if you guys have read that book, but I love it. And it's all about birthday cards, like you were saying. But if they don't answer a call, I just send a handwritten card and I always get a call back.
I love that. It's birthday cards. People love birthday cards. Send it early because then they'll always say, oh my God, my birthday's not until the 25th. I go, I know, but I wanted to be the first one. Because they'll always reach out and say something like that. almost always. Huh?
Regarding birthday, right?
Mhm.
How do you know?
Oh my God, Facebook has everybody's birthday. Come on. Facebook has everybody's birthday. Right? You could go on Facebook and you could go, everybody's birthday in July. You could, everybody's birthday in July. You could do the cards right now and mail them July 1st, regardless of when their birthday is in July. Mail them now. I don't care if it's July 30th, mail it early. I do. December is birthday month for me. Also home anniversaries. So if you have a client and you know, well, you should know when they close escrow, right? Hope you're still enjoying, you know, I hope you're still making memories, beautiful memories in your home. And that's all you got to say. You don't have to say, are you ready to buy a soul? You know, don't say that. They know you're a realtor. But home anniversaries, birthdays, kids' birthdays. If you can get the kid's birthday and you mailed the kid a birthday card, you will be top of mind, right? If they get a new pet, saw that you got a new cat. I just got a new cat. Same as Milo. You know, things like that. Find ways to communicate to your clients, right? And even with your, you know, if you're in contract, right? You can communicate. It doesn't have to be a phone call. It doesn't always have to be everything real estate. And we're going to sell. And what's the price? You know, you can send them a card and thank you for trusting me with your biggest asset. You know. So let's talk about staging. What's important about staging? Alan, what's important about staging?
Always stage.
Always stage.
People buy staging.
Yeah, absolutely. They do. They do. So my listing on Gondabert, because I was listening during the listing presentation, she wanted to go live with her dad to take care of him. And they just couldn't afford the house anymore. The husband's not working a lot. He's a truck driver, you know. And so they didn't want to move. And, you know, we tried to have, oh, you need to move. You want an extra $100,000, let's move, right? And so we're vacating the house and we're doing some paint and stuff like that. And we're going to be staging it in Vista Park. Staging is important.
Different, you know, make you
For the study on staging.
in general. We need to come up some number and back up, right? We cannot just say, oh, it's important. We have to stage it. Like they will answer how much
20%.
that much.
Absolutely. And it's not only money, right? But the speed that you get into contract and close makes a huge difference. What's the percentage you think that if the house is staged, Ellen, how much more can you expect? 20%? Right? Staging is a big deal.
The value of unstaged versus staged. Can you, there's.
Around the study, go and look and compare two similar houses at the same time. You'll find there's a difference. I don't know if it's 20%, but there's going to be a difference. It feels different.
I think it's beyond the number, right? Sometimes it's like
A chart.
of that, like
It's
it's
the feeling.
stage
The feeling.
and putting an offer, it's the time in the market. So it's besides the price, it's like whether you want to sell or not. It's that important, just like the makeup. If I see something important,
Yeah.
do you put the makeup?
We don't run your makeup today, huh? No.
I slept on some lipstick before I got on the Zoom call. Yeah, it is. It's that important, right? They have to be able to visualize themselves living there. It makes the room, gives the rooms purpose. Sometimes the room could be, they're not sure what's that room for. Well, now it's an office, or now it's a kid's playroom, or now it's a man cave. There's purpose now. And so now they can visualize, okay, now I get the floor plan, I get the layout.
People are not visual mirror.
No,
They'll walk into the room,
What should I do?
oh my gosh, and then they go, oh, this house sucks, and then they leave, right? But if they sit on the couch, and they look out the window, and suddenly there's a lot of emotions.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I can see myself living here. That's when they write the offer, right? If it's just an empty room, feels cold. It's so weird.
but why did MTV have Pimp Your Crib? They made a whole show around it. It made a lot of money, Pimp Your Crib, right? You know, you want to have the best landscaping. You want to have if you can't afford it, a beautiful remodeled, kitchen, if you could put some money into the bathroom, do it, right? Because that's what's going to sell. MTV did a whole show. I was just watching Kardashians, and she has the new airplane. What did she say? I feel like I'm on MTV Pit My Crib right now, right? Because now you can visualize, now you can see it. Before that plane was just, an empty plane. And now she has the cashmere. I mean, not to talk about the Kardashians, but it does make a difference.
But in this market, though, be careful, don't try to show the staging in case it expires or cancels or doesn't sell. Split the cost with the seller if you can, if you're trying to cover it. A lot of risk for you right now.
Yes, I agree. Because staging, just a 4-bedroom, 2.5 baths, like $3,100, right? Or easy.
But you need to, they need to have skin in the game.
Yep.
You might bring them an offer and then, well, they have to pay after staging, suddenly they go, well, wait a minute.
Yeah, that offer seems really good right now.
Be careful, it's fine, don't hit your.
And paying for inspections too, right? Before, and you put that in the contract. You know that, right? So, but once again, that's over communication, right? Communicate, stage is important. You could say 10 to 20%. I mean, depends on the house, where it's so there's a lot to it, we could do studies. You can check houses in that same neighborhood that are staged and not staged to see what the ratio is between list price and sold price. But you could add it in the contract that you can say, listing agent to be reimbursed, the $3,100 if it doesn't sell within 30 days.
I just signed a contract because that's my first thing, so I was lenient. And I appreciate the client. I just say very clear that if not sold, the listing will pay for the stage. If not, the buyer pays. So always buyer pay first. And she got reimbursed at closing. Buyer pay plus seller pays. Seller pays. And then
Out of escrow.
so I put my time, I'm not putting my money there. They pay for it. They're serious and they get reimbursed.
A really a way to get through that a little easier too is have a net sheet with you with the cost of the staging in the net sheet already built in. So when they're looking at that, what they're actually going to net from that house, it's already built in, right? It's not a lot of question. Okay. Then they just kind of expect it. And include the inspections, right?
I never pay for inspection.
But just having the net sheet, they're going to have to pay for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no question. Include your inspections and
Take for granted.
Anything else on staging? So so here's some stats. 32% of realtors report a 5% increase in the sale price. 16 report a 6 to 10. 3% of realtors report 11 to 15. But this is from 2021, so it's about a year old. I think it's a little bit higher than that, but okay. And then where do you spend your staging dollars? Staging is so important. Kitchen. Where do women? I love my kitchen. It's kitchen, bathrooms, master, right? I'm just going to go on with my stage. And then we've, I think we've talked about the pricing, right? The pricing is going to be really important based on today's market, whatever that day is. So anybody have any questions? We're going through this pretty quick. You guys, I love you guys. And so, because I come from a marketing background, we used to have this saying, and we said this a lot. If you're not marketing yourself and you're not marketing your listing, it's kind of like winking at a girl in the dark. What you're doing, but nobody else does. So it's the communicating, and it's really marketing that listing so that you can sell it in the short amount of time possible for top dollar for your client, and eventually get referrals and get known as the real estate expert in your area. That's the last slide.
Last
I
one?
did it fast. I know we talked a lot about, anybody have any questions, any major, don't you love this saying? It's like winging a girl in the dark, or a guy. Nobody else knows, right? So if you're not talking about it, if you're not going to events where there's other agents and talking about your listing and going to networking, a great networking event is Chamber of Commerce and the cities that you guys are doing business in. Get out there, talk about it. Talk.
Chamber of,
A Chamber of Commerce? Where do you like to do business? Right, and what are you, you like Redwood City or Foster City? Where are you? There's a Chamber of Commerce in Santa Clara. You should be all over the Santa Clara because they just got approved for the downtown. You could be talking about that with all your clients. Communicate that to your clients. It's free to join. Well, no, there's a cost to join and they have monthly meetings and things like that, but you get a lot of exposure. So anything, you guys, any major ahas, or Donna, you know, you're losing your mind. I don't know what you're talking about, or
Donna, can
you guys are easy. I think.
talk more about your social media mark?
My social media marketing. So I was kind of taking a break. I was writing a book, right? And so I'll be on it again. I read a book. It's about real estate. But it's so. What do you mean, like schedule? Or you should post every day at least one time. So you could do that on Sunday. You post it for the whole week, and then as you're out and about doing business, do that. You know, do the life of a realtor kind of posts, or you know, when you're at a networking event, or you know, try to add one post a day, and don't do it all real estate. It could be like, hey, here's me and my kids, or I'm in Vegas having a birthday, you know, whatever it is. But one could then, you know, inspirational, try to do. I'm going to start again. I was really good about it. Then I kind of like, I seriously, you can see on my social media, I haven't been doing it consistently, but we're going back to it. That and events. Events.
Different groups have different preference of Chinese food, which actually will help to tremendously. Basically, how which will be the one to bridge.
Baldwin. And Nick Baldwin's amazing. Nick Baldwin, he's with Keller Williams. If you look at his classes and his YouTubes, you get a lot of information. He was the one that I do all the holiday smart plans. So every holiday, like Father's Day, everybody gets a text, an email, and a social media post. Nick, N-I-C-K, and Baldwin, B-A-L-D-W-I-N. YouTube, just go on YouTube and search him. Tons of stuff. And he's having a class right now, I think $1 million from your command or something like that. He has a lot of great classes too. Another great way to service your account. You know, it's a great way to prove, you know, show, like when I'm communicating, Facebook ads, here's a picture of the ad, here's the picture of the postings.
Saying the name again.
Nick Baldwin. L-D-W-I-N.
This Instagram.
YouTube. Go to YouTube. He has, I think he has more on YouTube, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, Facebook, he has everything. He's really good. Okay.
So how many percentage of your posts are like real estate related? Like your listing, your posting? You know?
Well, I always post something when there's a closing a listing, but I think, you know, I was reading a study on that and nobody really cares.
Yeah.
Right. Only I care. It's about me. So with that in mind, you know, I think you should be partnering with lenders and doing information on interest rates, and you could do the interest rate stuff. There's a lot of new loans you could do. You could do a reverse purchase now. Did you know that? You couldn't do that before. If you're an older person, you wanted to use a reverse mortgage, you'd have to qualify for a regular loan, get the loan. Then once you're in, you refinance and do a reverse mortgage for seniors. Now you can do a reverse purchase. So you only have to do one loan. So things like that, promote the great programs that are out there. County of Santa Clara just increased their loan limit up to a 1.1, and they give people from Santa Clara County 18% of your down payment. You have to have 1.5% in your account, and you could get another 1.5% as a gift from a family or friend. So there's a promotions. It's not necessarily real estate, right? There are loans, there's money, there's a lot of grants, and there's grants. That's just Santa Clara County, but San Mateo County every county has their housing trust, right? There's the below market. The below market, the house keys one is a tough one because they don't have a lot of properties. That's why I like the housing trust one. Because now it used to be 800, they increased the purchase up to 1.1. That's, everyone that says I don't have a down payment, well, here's a program for you. You do have to pay it back when you sell the house, but there's no interest. You just pay it back. Yeah.
Like promoting.
Yeah, so it can be things like that, right? It could be you're in Santa Clara. There's a big thing about having a new downtown in Santa Clara. Promote things about that. Everyone knows you're in real estate, right? But then you complemented it. You definitely talk about real estate once in a while, just not all the time.
What is the percentage of your personal?
I do more personal. I do more personal than I do real estate. Yeah. Well, just remember, my social media is a part of my whole marketing plan, right? I have my social media. I have client giant, they're getting gifts. I'm doing phone calls, they're getting flyers, right? So it's just part of the whole mix, right? So I rather do, when I'm doing like mailers, or they get the twice a month, they get an email about real estate in your neighborhood, right? So they're getting information from me, even though I don't realize it, because it's from command. So they're already getting that. So if they're getting that and they're getting flyers from me with market updates in your neighborhood, I don't want to beat them over the head as well on my social media. I want to be a real person to them. So, but I will I'll put one sold, one, I'll promote it because my clients like to see their homes online. Right. So I got a new listing, I got a call right away that my client's neighbor already called her to say, oh, you're moving. So see, they love it. But yeah.
Make class in Facebook. Are you active?
Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I got a deal from LinkedIn. The Monday call with Mark, the image that he does. I got a listing from that. All I did was post it on LinkedIn. And I totally just what he says. It's not clear, what he says. What he said, added some emojis, and I just posted it. And I got a call from somebody that I used to work with 22 years ago at a company called ABT Productions, and it's in Willow Glen. So
the weekly
Villa Corona,
stats.
just putting those stats up, right? Yeah.
Any comments?
Comments are important. Every time you have a comment, you have to like or comment on the comment. Just remember when they have comment and you comment, everybody above that sees your comment, right?
Yeah.
So there's a whole strategy around that. That's a whole other class, right? That's a whole other class. So I want to start doing videos. So if I have a new listing, doing a video and sending it out to clients and prospective clients. So, hey, I got a new listing. If you or somebody you know is interested, I'm not going to say I got a new cat on those, but I will say something about real estate, right? Use Twilio. Okay, if anybody has any other questions, if we're good. We're good. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I appreciate it. Feel free to reach out. I'm here in the office, or feel free to call me or text me, and I'm here for you. Okay, thanks, everybody.
Good.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
I will stop sharing. Leave.